Tomatoes are the most popular crop in the home garden, and also the most misunderstood. More people grow tomatoes than anything else, and more people are disappointed by their tomatoes than anything else. The plants look healthy. They grow tall. They produce thick green foliage. But the fruit is late, or small, or cracked, or tasteless, or the plant collapses halfway through summer from a disease that seemed to appear overnight. And in almost every case, the problem didn't start in summer. It started weeks earlier with a decision that seemed harmless at the time. Tomatoes are not difficult to grow, but they are extremely sensitive to timing, placement, and a handful of mistakes that most beginners make because the advice they follow is incomplete or outdated. What makes tomatoes tricky is that they respond slowly at first and then all at once. You don't see the consequences immediately. You see them later when it's much harder to fix. In this video, I'm going to walk through 10 mistakes that consistently ruin tomato harvests. Not edge cases, but patterns I see in almost every struggling garden. And stay to the end, because mistake number 10 is the one that quietly costs more production than all the others combined, and almost nobody talks about it. Once you understand these, tomatoes stop feeling unpredictable and start behaving like a system you can control. Mistake number 1 is planting too early. Warm air does not mean warm soil. Tomatoes need soil at 60 degrees at 4 inches deep on 3 consecutive mornings before roots begin functioning. Planting into cold soil causes a stall. 1 to 3 weeks where the plant looks fine above ground but does almost nothing below. During that time, it's burning through the energy it stored as a seedling. Then one cool night hits, and the plant either dies or becomes permanently stunted. A tomato planted 2 weeks later into warm soil will almost always outperform an early planting. I've tested this. The later plant produced only a few days behind the early one, but yielded more overall because it never stalled. Mistake number 2 is planting too shallow. Tomatoes are one of the only crops that should be buried deep. They grow roots along the stem, and those extra roots act like an anchor in a reserve system. A shallow-rooted tomato struggles the moment heat or drought hits. A deep-planted tomato stays stable. If you transplant a 12-inch seedling, bury it so only the top 4 inches remain above the soil. You can even trench plant it sideways if it's leggy. It feels wrong, but it creates a much stronger plant. Mistake number 3 is spacing too tight. Tomatoes are not compact plants. They are air-moving systems. When you crowd them, leaves overlap, airflow drops, and humidity builds, which is exactly what fungal diseases need. Most seed packets say 18 to 24 inches. Add 20%, 30 inches minimum for indeterminate varieties. It looks empty early in the season. By mid-season, it becomes just enough. Mistake number 4 is not hardening off transplants. Indoor seedlings have never experienced real sun or wind. Move them outside suddenly and they stall or burn. Growth pauses right when you need momentum. Harden them off over 7 to 10 days. That one step saves you a full week of recovery time. Mistake number 5 is watering wrong. Tomatoes don't want frequent shallow watering. That keeps roots near the surface where they overheat and dry out quickly. They want deep, consistent watering. Soak 8 to 10 inches deep, then let the surface dry slightly before watering again. This encourages roots to go deeper and makes the plant far more resilient during heat waves. Mistake number 6 is ignoring mulch. Bare soil around tomatoes creates 3 problems at once. It dries out faster, it heats up more during the day, and when you water or it rains, soil splashes onto the lower leaves, carrying fungal spores directly onto the plant. That splashback is one of the main ways diseases like early blight spread. A 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch, straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips stabilizes soil moisture, reduces temperature swings, and blocks that splash effect entirely. It also reduces how often you need to water. Mistake number 7 is not pruning suckers. Indeterminate tomatoes naturally want to become a mass of stems and leaves. Every sucker can become another full branch. But more branches don't mean more tomatoes. They mean more competition inside the plant, more shade, less airflow, slower ripening. Removing suckers below the first flower cluster gives the plant a clean structure early in the season. Above that, you can be more flexible. The goal is not to strip the plant bare, it's to prevent chaos. 5 seconds per plant once a week is enough. Mistake number 8 is choosing the wrong variety. This is one of the most overlooked issues. Indeterminate tomatoes grow tall and produce all season. Determinate tomatoes stay compact and produce all at once. If you plant an indeterminate variety in a small container, it will outgrow the space and struggle. If you plant a determinate variety expecting months of harvest, you'll be disappointed when it finishes early. The variety determines the behavior. Always match it to your space and your expectations. Mistake number 9 is weak support. Tomatoes are heavy plants. By mid-season, they're carrying pounds of fruit. Those small wire cages collapse under real weight. When a plant falls over, airflow drops, fruit touches the soil, and disease risk spikes immediately. Use strong cages or tall stakes and install them at planting time so roots are not disturbed later. And mistake number 10, the one that quietly ruins more harvests than all the others combined, is not removing lower leaves. As tomato plants grow, the bottom leaves become shaded and stop contributing to the plant. But they stay in the splash zone where water and soil particles hit first. That's where disease begins. Those leaves act like a ladder for fungal infections to climb up the plant. By the time you see spots, the problem has already spread. The fix is simple and takes less than a minute per plant. Once your tomato is established and about 2 feet tall, remove all leaves below the first fruit cluster. Every leaf below that point is a liability. This one change alone can dramatically reduce disease pressure. And when you combine it with mulch, spacing, and proper watering, you create a layered system where each element supports the others. And that's really the point of this entire video. None of these mistakes exist in isolation. They stack. Cold soil weakens roots. Poor spacing traps moisture, bad watering stresses the plant, lack of pruning increases density. Each one makes the next problem worse, but the opposite is also true. When you fix these early, everything becomes easier. Tomatoes stop feeling fragile and start producing consistently because you're not reacting to problems anymore. You're preventing them through setup, warm soil, deep roots, wide spacing, stable moisture, clean airflow. Get those right, and tomatoes become one of the most reliable crops in your garden. If you want to go deeper into one of the biggest factors behind tomato disease and yield, watch the spacing rule video next. It explains how airflow alone can change the outcome of your entire season.